Hello, welcome back to LK Tuition. My name's Lucas and today we're going to be looking at function machines. Hope you're well and let's get started. Okay, so what is a function machine? Well, a function machine is a way of listing operations to do on a number in a certain order. So it's basically a list of instructions that you do in a certain order to a number. So it might be add 3, then times by 4. It might be divide by 6, then square it. It's just a list of instructions to do in a certain order on a number. And what you do is you start with an input. So an input is the number that you start with. You do all the things and then your end result is called the output. So it's like putting something into a machine and then the machine puts that out at the end after it's done everything to it. So for example, here we've got what a function machine might look like. And so this makes you multiply by 3 and then take away 7. So for example, if the input was 4, the output would be 5. So let's just see that work for a second. So let's say we start with 4, we multiply by 3 and we end up with 12. Then we subtract 7 and we end up with 5. Yeah, so 4 times 3 is 12 and then 12 takes 7 is 5. So this is your input, the 4, and this is your output, the 5. Okay, so let's just have a go at a few questions. Feel free to pause the video, have a pop at these yourself, otherwise we will do them together. Okay, so number 1, we've got below is a function machine. What is the output when the input is, and we start off with 8. Okay, so if we're starting off with 8, let's use a different colour here. So we're starting off with 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. So the answer to this one is just 1. Let's do another one. Now we want 24. So we start with 24. Again, we divide by 4 to get 6. And then 6 take away 1 is 5. And then C is minus 4. So let's go underneath. So we're starting with minus 4 this time. Minus 4 divided by 4 is minus 1. And then minus 1 minus another 1, you're going to be on minus 2. So the answer to this one is minus 2. Okay, now question number 2 says fill in the blank of the function machine below. When the input is 9, the output is 2. Okay, so let's just look at that then. So if the input is 9, the output is 2. So we've already got that it starts off with adding 11. So 9 plus 11 is 20. And so we just need to think of a rule to go from 20 to 2. So the first one that comes to my mind is divide by 10. So 20 divided by 10 would give you 2. But there are other ways. We could also minus 18. 20 minus 18 would be 2 as well. So there's a couple of things to think about there. Okay, so both of those answers are correct. And now let's just have a look at going backwards. So if you know an output, how would you find the input? So what you want to do is you want to go backwards along your function machine by writing opposites of each of the rules. Okay, so for example, here we've got the input that we looked at before. So it goes in, multiplies by 3, then takes 7, and we get an output. And going backwards, so let's start. So if we just rewrite this again, so we've got output. And we're going to go this way this time. So we're going to go the opposite way. Let me just draw it all out as nicely as I can possibly do. And we'll end up, with the input. Okay, and we're just doing the opposite of each thing. So here we've got subtract 7. So the opposite of that would be add 7. The next one we've got multiply by 9. So it would be divide 9. Okay, so then if we knew the output, we could find the input. So it says here if the output was 11, the input would be 6. So let's just show that. So 11, I don't know why I've put divide 9 there. I mean divide 3. Because it was multiplied by 3. Okay, so we start with 11. we add 7, so 11 plus 7 is 18, and then divide 3, 18 divided by 3 gives us the 6. Okay, so let's just have a go at a few more questions. Feel free again to pause the video, have a go at these, otherwise we shall do them together. Okay, so the first one then, what is the input when the output is 3, then 7, then minus 5? Well, let's just draw our kind of opposite function. So if we go like this, so instead of plus 5, it would be minus 5. And instead of divide by 4, it would be times 4. Okay, great. So let's start off with 3 then. So if I started off with 3 minus 5 is minus 2. And minus 2 times 4 is minus 8. So that's our first answer, minus 8. Let's do another one. Let's do 7. So if we put 7 in here, I'll just use different colours. 7 minus 5 is 2, and 2 times 4 is plus 8. So that is plus 8. And then finally, we've got minus 5, so we'll try minus 5. Minus 5 take away 5 is minus 10, and minus 10 times 4 is minus 40. Okay, and then the last question then, Jeff says, for the below function machine, it is impossible for the input and the output to be the same number. Prove him wrong. Okay, so what we're saying is, so let's give this a letter. Let's say this is X. And he's saying that you can't end up with X back if you go through it. So let's just have a little look at what this means. Well, if you multiply by 4, that is going to be 4x. So x times 4 is 4x. And then add 18, that is going to be 4x plus 18. So what he's saying is, let's draw it up here. He's saying that 4x plus 18 cannot be equal to, cannot be equal to x. But we can just solve this, can't we? So if we take away the x from both sides, we're going to get 3x plus 18 is 0. Then we take away the 18 from both sides, you're going to get 3x is minus 18. And then divide by the 3, you're going to get x is minus 6. So we're saying it will work for minus 6. So let's just double check that. So if we start with minus 6, we multiply by 4, we get minus 24, and then minus 24 plus 18 is minus 6. So your input and your output are the same. Okay, so I hope you found that pretty useful. That is function machines. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for some more maths videos.